Go away. Don't stand here making me sick. An elderly man with a travel bag on his back carried the 2 million yuan compensation money from the demolition of his old home and went to his eldest son's house first. The eldest son glanced through the peephole, turned around, walked back into the bedroom, and did not even bother opening the door. The old man stood outside for half an hour. He knocked on the door 8 times, but there was not a single sound from inside. He wiped his face, picked up his worn woven sack, and slowly walked down the stairs. After that, he took a taxi to his second son's house. The second son owned a supermarket and had just moved into a spacious new home the year before. The old man rang the doorbell again and again. His daughter-in-law recognized him on the video doorbell, immediately disconnected it, then shouted through the closed door, "Dad! Even my older brother doesn't want to take care of you. Why did you come to our house?" The second son cracked the door open just enough to look at his father with a frown. The old man wore a faded old jacket with frayed sleeves, and his cloth shoes were covered in dust. Without another word, the son pulled 200 yuan from his pocket and held it out. "Dad, go back to the village and rent yourself a room. Stop wandering around bothering everyone." The door slammed shut again. The old man slowly sat down in the hallway, tucked the money into his inner pocket, picked up his woven sack, and walked away once more. It was already dark by the time he arrived at his youngest daughter's home. She had passed away 3 years earlier. Her daughter, Tu, was now a widow, raising her 5-year-old son, Dodo, alone while renting a tiny 1-story house in an old village neighborhood. The old man stood in front of the iron gate, hesitating for a long time, unable to lift his hand to knock. Years ago, when his sons got married, he had spent every penny of his savings helping both of them. He had been unable to help his youngest daughter at all, and the guilt had never left his heart. Before he could make up his mind, the wooden door creaked open. Little Du clung to the doorway, his eyes lighting up as he ran forward and hugged his grandfather's legs. "Grandpa, I missed you so much." Tu had just finished mopping the floor. The moment she saw her father's exhausted, worn-out face, she immediately put the mop aside, hurried over, and took the woven sack from his hands. "Dad, it's so cold outside. Come inside quickly." The room was less than 20 square meters, cramped and shabby. Half of the plaster had peeled off the walls. There was only one old wooden table and 2 hard wooden beds. Dinner on the table was nothing more than plain rice porridge and pickled vegetables. Tu turned on the stove, cracked the 2 eggs she had been saving for her son into a pot, and added a handful of noodles. When she served the bowl, 2 golden fried eggs were hidden beneath the noodles. Dodo gently pushed the bowl toward his grandfather. "Grandpa, you eat. You must be tired from traveling." At that moment, looking at his little grandson and remembering the 2 sons who had shut their doors on him, the old man's nose burned with emotion. Tears streamed down his face and fell into the hot broth. Tu handed him a tissue. "Dad, please don't cry anymore. Now that you're here, don't leave again. Our home may be small, but there's always room for us together." Those words completely broke him. With trembling hands, he pulled out an old bank card from his inner pocket, its surface almost worn white with age. "The demolition compensation for my old house was 2 million yuan. When your oldest brother bought his house, I gave him 100,000 yuan. When your second brother's business failed, I borrowed money everywhere to help him pay off his debts. I never let my grandsons go without tuition or living expenses, not even a single yuan. I always believed that if just one of my sons was willing to care for me in my old age, I would split this money equally between them. But after spending an entire evening going from door to door, all I received was rejection." And 200 yuan handed to me like charity. He placed the bank card into Tu's hand. "This money, I won't give either of them a single yuan. Take it and buy yourself a bigger home. Consider it my way of making up for everything I owe you. May everyone who is fortunate enough to hear this story receive 3 roses of blessing. From this day forward, may your path be smooth, your wealth abundant, and your family filled with peace and prosperity." To gently push the card back. "Dad, I can't take all of this. When I was struggling the most, you secretly sent me 1,500 yuan every month. You lived in a tiny rented shed yourself and barely spent money on food. I've never forgotten that kindness. I'm still healthy enough to work and take care of you. If we want a better life, let's use 500,000 yuan to buy a house in your name. You keep the rest for your retirement." The old man could no longer refuse. That night, he stayed at Tu's home. But happiness did not last long. Less than 2 weeks later, the news leaked out. Both sons came storming over, shouting downstairs until they attracted a crowd of neighbors. The eldest son stood with his hands on his hips and yelled, "Dad, have you lost your mind? You're giving away 2 million yuan to someone outside the family? We're your biological sons. She's only pretending to be a dutiful daughter so she can steal your money." To everyone's surprise, Tu neither panicked nor argued. She took Dodo's hand and stood in front of her father. Then she pulled out a thick stack of transfer screenshots and loan documents for everyone to see. Everyone, please judge for yourselves. When my oldest brother bought his house, Dad gave him 100,000 yuan. When my second brother opened his store, Dad gave him 150,000 yuan. When Dad came asking for a place to stay, they threw him out with just 200 yuan. Now that they've heard he has money, they've come back to take it. The new house only costs 500,000 yuan. The deed is in Dad's name. Every remaining yuan stays with Dad. I take care of him with love, conscience, and respect, not for his money. After seeing the evidence, the neighbors immediately condemned the two unfilial sons. Ashamed and furious, the brothers threatened to sue for their share of the inheritance. But the old man calmly reached into his coat and took out a notarized legal document. I've already gone to the notary office and made my will. Everything I own, my house and the rest of my savings, will go to Atu and Dodo Do after I'm gone. The day you shut your doors and refused your own father, you gave up your place in my heart. Under the law, you won't receive a single cent. The two sons froze in silence. Unable to endure the neighbors' criticism and pointing fingers, they lowered their heads and walked away. From that day on, neither of them ever came back. Tu continued working during the day and caring for her father and son every evening. The old man spent his days growing flowers, cooking meals, and living with a smile that never left his face.